Battleship. Mirrors in the sky, glass inside the sea. I've lost track of time, all I wanted was to be free. The ships are sinking and they're not thinking. They blink and they can't see. I don't believe I won't deceive, it's a relief to still be me. I stopped trying, souls are dying. You can't open their eyes to see. So before I leave, I will abide by the laws of gravity or the sea. Inside out. That's me. Drown out the sounds, the water's murky and so is she. Run and hide and ride the tides till you have nowhere left to be. I don't believe anymore. I see from my core. Below the surface of the sea. Connected. Indeed, they are dead. No one heard what we said, but they'll wake up eventually. Till then, I'm floating on the surface or lying on the floor, finding the right doors. Truth is sometimes wordless. What's less is really more. There are as many memories as there are seashells on the shore. But my body, mind, I'm sure, cannot be returned. I already burned my bridges. Now I'm stuck at sea. I used to wish I was your missus, but that can't be, so I unbury the layers, breathe into my skin. Pray my prayers and sink or swim. You'll never finish if you don't begin. They're one and the same. It's insane to never forgive. It's hard for your brain to retain it, but that's how you'll start to live. And well, gardens don't grow in a day. Sometimes they need some help. It's a battle between consciousness and fear, and I'm straddling the line between long-term and near. But my time isn't linear. Psychosis, I wrote this so I could focus. Now that's the world they live in. I hope this could be a spark in your kindling. I want to live in a world where existing and living, breathing and forgiving are one. Fortunately, we're not done. The battle is far from being won. But Judgment Day is here. It's harder when you're in it. After it's finished, in retrospect, that's where faith comes in. Caught in the middle of cycles spinning, a wheel dryer down to our demises unless we decide that we are in dire need. At the same time, we continue doing what we think is best. We will ride the storm as long as the wind is brewing. Against all odds and odds and false gods, we keep the energy moving. If they're not for me and I'm not for them, then who can I confide in if they all think I'm crazy? Until I'm right, they fine. They want to switch sides, only I do not care anymore. Life is right on the flip side and I find myself on the floor. You're not done yet, he said. It's your life, please don't fear it. Feel it in your spirit. You don't really see it until it slips past your grasp, before it's too late and the fight or flight kicks in. Before the attack, they've already drank the Kool-Aid or got the chip in. Words have so much more meaning when they come from the gut, when you repeatedly affirm that you are enough. It's only when you start speaking that people show up and start to disrupt your peace. If you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, which is letting them keep you down and be quiet, then they don't show up, but here they are. So every time I record, now that I got the audio to work, as above, so below. So intuition is the only thing keeping us strong and on track. Now we're left with the remnants of heavy past. It's far too much of a load for one person. It takes a steady pace to reclaim your space, to memorize your home frequency, to maintain it, engraved in your brain for when you really need to exercise it. The maze is ingrained, they call it the matrix. The only way out is through, and to harmonize with it, and prioritize putting your best appendage forward, away from lust and lies and more toward your destiny. It's crazy that all I need is some words to tie me to reality. Shouldn't have to feel guilty for demanding honesty. Sometimes the best way to see is through another set of eyes. Though living life through another soul is no commemoration, I am not decoration, but a living personification of light. The only time I feel alive is through transpiration, but the smog blocked out my respiration, desperately seeking movement. Holding on too long will drag you to the bottom of the well. Confusion is a rung in the ladder to enlightenment, and she only comes once you cease to need her. Conspiring to climb leads you back and forward to the beginning and end of time, where we retire into certain eternity, where you get to choose what you get to do with your DNA. We are sacred geometry, alienated from our source, half mortal, half god, some more, some less. The opposition wants you off course and hopeless. This is war. There's no use in using claws. I was an outlaw in my own body. Wasn't used to the density yet. A new night, another hotel lobby. I didn't forget, I just regret to inform that I had descended again. What I call my enemies, I used to call my friends. Making amends with the demons, exorcise them or they will do you. Compromise your spirit, or I promise you that what you don't use will use you. I mean that in the most moral way. I don't have anything to prove, except that I can stand on my own. I think I might be a dose of Adderall or LSD. All the calls dropped from those who weren't meant for me. Believe me when I say I'm a trip before you fall, so I stayed close to source. My rhetoric is that I know nothing, which is why I absorb more. Famished for the truth, I am never bored. I don't identify with disorders anymore, for they encourage excuses and profuse acceptance of much less than what would be considered human rights to me, although righteously. Who in their right mind would be okay with the current state of the world? I guess it's a matter of whether you choose victimhood or not. Maybe it's the world's problem and not yours, but that's for you to discern. Maybe they wanted you disorderly so that they could take your birthright. Maybe we're evolving past the lower forms. The breadcrumbs just don't cut it no more, for the ceiling has been shattered. And so has what mattered before. We are now grounded in 5D. Put down your devices. We got crystals inside shielding us from 5G. I can't save the world, but I can save me. Now it's Gaia's turn to fight back. Do you like my cracked screen? She pretty, ain't she?